YouTube, what's going on? Back with another reaction video. And today, we got another clip from the 154 Africa podcast. Now, the title is Africans Sold Other Africans into Slavery? Question mark. I don't really know what that means, but before we get into the video, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out a lot, and I appreciate it. And yeah, let's get into the video.
I wish American blacks could get the chance to learn what colonialism did to Africa. Because it's not like African people didn't suffer. And I think there's a sense that African people sold us away and forgot about us. But they forget those people were destroyed. You know, as Michael Harriot said when we had him on for our Black History special, if black people were selling other black people, why did you need a fort? If this was a transaction that was mutual and the kings of Africa were just selling off black, well, then why did you need to build giant forts? You build giant forts because you were having wars with those kings who you were stealing their people. You wouldn't need a fort if you were selling and buying.
And that's something that people like.
Huh? So wait, is she implying that Africans didn't sell other Africans? That's what it sounds like. It sounds like she's insinuating that, like, oh, because we needed to build forts, we were fighting off the oppressors. So of course Africans didn't sell other Africans. That's what it sounds like she's alluding to. But we know that's not true. So I'm trying to, and then she also started off, this is how I know this, like, it's sleight of hand, like it's misleading. She started off by saying, I wish more Black Americans knew what basically colonization did to Africa, as if we don't know, as if Black people in America just don't, like, as we don't know. We know, right? We know. You know what I mean? All these European places have a hand in Africa, basically. So we know what they did to Africa. So I don't know why she even brought that up, but she made it seem like as Black people just don't know. Like, oh, we don't know what colonization did to Africa. What? And then you trying to mislead and make it seem like that was weird. Like, why are you trying to make it seem like Africans didn't sell other Africans into slavery? I don't know.
That's the information that gets passed out a lot. You hear, well, your people sold.
They love to throw that out there.
Like,
take the burden
people
off them.
Yeah,
that's correct.
Yeah, because the history gets distorted that way, and it minimizes. And I've always been a person, and I know they trash me online, but I want to know, like, what is the connection point? Because you said it. Once that happened, it.
Hold on, because I think this shit might be a little low.
Cut the connection. I literally saw it when you said that, almost like a cord being like, is there ever going to be a connection point between African immigrants and Black Americans?
It's already
happening now.
Yeah.
It's happening now.
Yeah.
If you go to Ghana right now, you will see African Americans on every street. They're getting their residency, they're getting their citizenship, they're moving back, they're reinvesting. Africans, we reconnected the umbilical cord ourselves. And that's why you're always talking about why people are mad. The 1619 Project was one of those moments where Black people said, no. We're going to recreate our own history. We're going to tell our own story. And that story does not mean that we come from slavery. We don't come from slavery. You all come from oppression. You guys come from robbery and theft, and you need to own that. But we are starting to, like, tell our own story and reconnect ourselves to Africa and really invest in Africa and realize there's a huge bounty of human capacity, of financial capacity, and that together we're like the most powerful weapon on earth.
Yeah, and I feel that energy. I've done 9 countries. I want to go to more countries in Africa. I want to do all 54.
Same.
I want to be able to go to Madagascar and say I met somebody from Madagascar. But like what I noticed
and bring back a wife for your friends.
But what I love is, like, there is this similarity and this connection through all of the countries I've been to in Africa. Like, there is this connection that I feel the same being here, growing up in America. And I'm like, I just want to see and minimize or eradicate the confusion that is the distrust or the pointing fingers at each other. Well, you guys are this way, or you look down and you think you're better. You're an African booty scratcher.
Well, how do you think they stole us?
Yeah.
I mean, they're.
Oh, Lord. Is he going to keep using the African booty scratcher thing as like a talking point? Like, it hurt his feelings so much as a kid that he's going to continue to keep using that as a talking point. Like everyone in America hasn't gotten teased at some point in their life. I got teased. Pretty sure you watching have gotten teased at some point, right? Why does he bring that up? Like, as if that's like he's a grown adult still harboring over kids calling other kids names and teasing other kids, right? Kids don't know no better. I'm pretty sure that, you know, that's what happened. Unless you got a story when you was a teenager, even teenagers, assholes, right? You don't start to your brain doesn't fully develop till you're 25, right? So even if teenagers were still calling you African booty scratcher, right? They're jokes, right? You had a black experience, so you know how it is in the black American culture. So I'm confused on why this is like the second clip I've seen him bring up African booty scratcher. It's weird. And that's like the talking point to make it seem like we're just so divisive and like, you know, we're so separate. Like, no, it's just that when everyone else delineates, it's okay. But when black Americans do it, it's a problem. I don't get it. I mean, I truly do get it. It's like the being black is cool, and especially in America, it's cool. And the closer you are growing up in it, when you grow up in it and you are black, you want to be as close to it as possible, right? You're engulfed in it. But it just is what it is. Because when you, Godfrey, and when you, Akbar, and when you, Joy, go back home, you have an African experience. You were raised African, right? I know Joy is like part Caribbean. So she was raised Caribbean. But you have those experiences in your household. Black people have a 100% black experience in the household. When we leave the household, when we come back in the household, we don't get like to come back home and then, you know, eat African foods, go to the synagogue, whatever, that's in the African household. The way that your parents raise you is very different the way my black parents raised me. You know what I mean? And the things they taught us and stuff like that. We might have a lot of similarities, but it's very different. The food we eat, the things our parents teach us compared to the things their parents teach you.
It was to say, hey, tribe number one, sell me somebody from tribe number two, or give me your prisoners of war from that tribe. They're not, remember, these people didn't think of themselves as all black. You're this tribe, I'm that tribe. If I have prisoners of war from the other tribe, okay, I'm going to go ahead and let them go to you. And then they got greedy and said, it's not enough for me to give you your prisoners of war. I'm going to go back and just take people, right? But it did start out as, I'll take.
So why in the beginning did she make it seem like Africans didn't sell other Africans? When you just said that these Africans only viewed them as prisoners of war. They weren't looking at them like, you're my brother or whatever. I'm not going to sell you to the white man, because they didn't know how evil the white man was at the time. They didn't understand what was going on. They just knew that they were selling, someone they had conflict with, right? They knew they were selling someone they had conflict with, prisoners of war. So like, all right, yeah, you can have this. But then the white man, like she said, got greedy and was like, why would I pay you when I could just start stealing them? And then that's when they started building the forts and fighting off the white people, right? So I'm confused on why she tried to make it seem like in the beginning that's not what happened. Or maybe I'm missing something. Y'all let me know in the comment section. Am I tripping? And then she got a shirt that says, "Immigrants make America better." Huh? In order to, right? Technically, if you add anything good to something, you're making it better. Technically, you could add a drop to something, right? I have a soda, right? If I add a little sugar to it and it tastes a little, technically I made it a little better, right? But we know that shirt implies that America was at a point where it was bad, and then immigrants came along, right? And then just magically made it better. It just started working, right? Like if I have a bike, pads to the back of my bike, and now my friend can get on the back. Now it's better, right? That's not necessarily true. Immigrants, I will say, add value to America. They don't make America better, right? Because you would have to insinuate that America was worse. If you remove immigrants, America would just be horrible, right? And America wasn't horrible Immigrants just added on, right? Immigrants add value.
Prisoners of war. They didn't think it was going to be endemic slavery forever.
Right.
And then once they got greedy and were like, come and taking people, then there were the fights. But even in the Caribbean, there are a lot of African Americans who think of Caribbean blacks as like foreign. They're probably your cousins. If you're in New Orleans, you're probably Haitian. You know, I mean, if you're in Florida, you are probably from Barbados because you probably have first cousins in Barbados. You know, they would drop people off in the Caribbean and then sell them to South Carolina. Like the route was often Caribbean, then the U.S.
That's where they would break slaves usually.
They would break them in the Caribbean, 100%, and then bring them here. So it's like people, their first stop was not Virginia or South Carolina. It was Jamaica.
Yeah, it's crazy. Damn. Well, it's a number on us.
We could go on.
But we still here though.
And we still survive.
And I can feel it, Burgeon. I can feel it connecting. You got Gabon. You got Ludacris lives in Gabon. He has a place in Gabon.
Yep.
Citizen in Gabon. So it's coming around.
It's coming.
They're
That's why we have this. That's why we have 154.
That's why they're
That's it.
panicking and they're counting on our.
Side note. This podcast, I ain't gonna front. I fuck with it, but then I don't. And I'm gonna tell you why. I remember the first video they ever put out, because I'm a fan of God. I follow them on Instagram and all that. I remember the first podcast they put out, and they was explaining what the podcast was about, what it was basically for. And I remember vividly them saying, oh, you know, this podcast is basically the Connect the Diaspora. You know, we're going to have guests from, you know, basically Africa, Black Americans, you know, from all over the diaspora, right? And I remember it was just 154, right? I don't remember it being 154 Africa. But then after a while, every episode was just Africans, right? Which is no problem. But every episode was African. I remember in the comment section, people was like, yo, when you going to have some African, like Black Americans, like I remember people kept saying, like, when you gonna have some Black Americans on the podcast? They wouldn't respond to it. They just kept putting like which is fine. You know, you want to talk about your people, that's fine. But it was just misleading. And I feel like it was to get Black people in America to watch the podcast. I'm starting to see that. I feel like that. Because so far, I think there only been like maybe two Black Americans on the podcast video.
Being together like we've got, because we're all we got. Dr. Henry Clark says we have no friends in the world. Black people don't have friends. He meant that. Dr. Henry, one of the elders who knows his stuff, we don't have them. Regardless of what you think in the whole scope of the world, our power. There's a girl online, this white chick, who she has this machine where she asks questions to the machine. She goes, why is it that, you know, Black people are always like oppressed, blah, blah, blah. And the machine talks back to her and goes, because of Black people's power, is their melanin, is they're native to the, that's the reason why whites try to shut, it's like a machine. This white girl asks these questions about oppression, and it's really good stuff.
You guys send me that video.
I'm gonna send it to you. It's really interesting. And she goes, it's because it's not just it's just Black people. It's their power. It's their natural. It's dope. It's like amazing. And she just asked these questions.
It's like when you have a connection to indigeneity, it's actually a powerful thing. It's why when you go and talk to Native Americans, indigenous people, they have a power. They have a spiritual power because they have a connection to the soil and the spirit.
Yeah.
And that is an African thing. There's a connection to the earth and the soil and the spirit. And if you can reconnect yourself with that, Europeans worked very hard to disconnect themselves from that and to eradicate that from what they considered to be high society and being, you know, what they saw as being civilized.
Yes.
But being civilized meant just cutting yourself off from indigeneity. And so, you know, which is what you're seeing, like people who are from Europe that go to Israel try to reclaim, right, and steal back. But what Black people have is sort of a natural indigeneity. Like we're just naturally indigenous people. The food we eat, the rhythm, the dancing, the music, the gospel.
It just comes out.
We just took it. Like we take, you know, spiritual songs and music and turn it into gospel. A thing that's a spiritual, physical experience. And that's an indigenous vibe. And so that vibration is common to everyone Black, whether you're in East Africa, West Africa, Caribbean, Brazil. All we need is to try to get over some of the phony, false separation that Europeans actually used to steal us.
Yes, that
And
right
it was
there.
a tactic to steal us.
That
And as
right
long
there.
as we fight infighting, they can keep stealing us. And so that's how we have to learn.
That's where you-
I want the
what they showed about the Obamas and the monkey shoes, and this black dude's like, I didn't see what the problem. I'm gonna get him though. This whole.
I know. I think I know.
There's like there was there were other pictures there that were just. They all have that look. It's just so.
You know
off
how you
about
can always
the
call them out, you can tell 'em?
asymmetrical Negroes. They just have this off look, and they don't look like they go to good barbers. They don't
That's
know about
it. It's
line-
always the
It's
hairline.
the barber. It's the
'Cause the
hairline. The
hairline
barbers are
stuff,
no
I'm
good.
telling you.
Stephen A. Smith.
It's
and
the hairline.
It's the
That's what
barbers.
gives them
It's the
away.
hairline.
I'm telling you.
If you want to be technical, right? Your man sitting next to you kind of got the same player build. If you want to be technical, I know what you mean, but they all kind of got the same corny look. Your man sitting next to you kind of got the same build. And I don't mean because he's in a suit, right? I don't want that to get confused. I mean in every episode. Let me be real, he's corny. And he's just corny, right? It's not how he talks. It's not how he. I'm not even talking about how he dressed, because that's a whole nother conversation, right? I'm just talking about him. He's corny, right? And usually them type of coons they corny, and they have this kind of this like, I don't know, like they just kind of this corny look, right? Smiling when nothing's funny or don't need to be smiling, like. And I'm not saying you can't be happy, but he just got a look. And then when his talking points, like, he's just corny. For instance, when Godfrey is making jokes, he always wants to cut the joke off or be serious all the time. Like, oh, let's get back to the questions. It's like corny.
They don't go to a barbershop with real, because barbershop is where everybody's talking. They don't go. They go to like probably some white guy goes like.
They go to Supercuts.
They go to
Why
Supercuts.
would you think of the same?
They go
They go to
Supercuts.
Supercuts. They're going.
And what do they put on top of the bowl?
In the bowl, and there's this.
They get a protractor or something like a
or a
T-square.
Flowbee. They got a Flowbee going on.
Flowbee,
It.
yeah.
What is that?
The, you know,
A
when you
weed
put the, it's like
whacker.
All right, that's the end of the video. I don't know. This was real. It was really weird because it seemed, on one hand, it seemed like it was divisive, but it's like real weird. Like, it's divisive, but it's not divisive. It's like she had some talking points that I agree with. They had some talking points I agree with, but then they had certain things that was just really misleading and just weird. And then the title of the video is "Africans sold other Africans" or some shit like that with a question mark. It's like, what? That's misleading. And then you start the video off with misleading. To only tell it, like, you told a lie, and then to only tell the truth. Like, it was weird. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this clip, this video, in the comment section below. I'm 50-50 on this video. It was weird, 100%. But I don't know. I'm 50-50. Y'all let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.